Get ready with me while I tell you things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. We met for the first time on November 1st, made it official on November 4th, and then he asked me to have sex with him that same night, on the day we made it official. Which I said no, of course, because that's crazy. We were watching anime together, and I said that one of the girls on the screen was hot. Like, I was just admiring one of the characters. And he started crying and said that he didn't think I loved him because I was calling cartoon characters hot. Literal cartoons. He cried for like 10 minutes about it and like would not speak to me. From the minute we started dating, he asked for my location and would check it constantly. He always had to know where I was going at all times. And he would get mad if I didn't tell him. If I wanted to go to Dunkin's 3 minutes down the road, I had to tell him. If I had a last-minute rehearsal, I had to tell him because he needed to know where I was at all times. And he would spam me with texts until I told him where I was going. There was one time I stayed at school for an hour longer because I was talking to my music director for a show, and I forgot to tell him because, like, I'm talking to a teacher. I'm not gonna text my boyfriend that I'm at the school. He checked my location, saw that I hadn't left yet, and he accused me of hiding at the school and cheating on him with his best friend. Throughout the entire relationship, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. I had known his best friend for 4 years, and we were just friends. But every time I was with him, he accused me of cheating on him with his best friend. He tried to watch me use the bathroom. His bathroom was connected to his bedroom, but it was also connected to the living room. There were 2 doors. I locked one of them, and I forgot to lock the one that connected to his bedroom. He opened the door, and I said, "No, I'm not comfortable with that. Leave. Like, I don't want you watching that. That's weird." He said, "Okay," and left the door open a crack and watched me through said crack. He constantly asked for pictures and got upset when I didn't send them to him. Even, like, they weren't even nudes. They were just, like, "I want to see a picture of you in the mirror," or "I want a picture of your face." But he would only ask, like, at night, at, like, 10 p.m. And at that point, I'm in my bed, I have my bonnet on, I have a face mask on, I'm not doing that, I'm not getting up. And frankly, I didn't even want to send the pictures anyways. Like, my philosophy is there's no need for pictures if you're going to see it in person. There's no reason to risk that and get them sent around. So I was totally against it. I was like, no, I'm not sending pictures. And he would get mad at me and constantly be like, "Please, please, please, please send them. Please, I need to see it right now." And it's like, no, you can wait. He told me that he needed to be my top priority above everything and that I wasn't making enough time for him. And mind you, I was spending all of my free time with him. I did not have any time to myself because I was devoting my entire life to this guy. I do theater, so our rehearsal schedule is pretty, like, intensive. We have a lot of rehearsals. Any day that I didn't have a rehearsal, I was at his house. I'm not gonna skip a rehearsal to see my boyfriend because that's ridiculous. So he actually got mad at me when I wasn't spending time with him, even though I put all of my free time into him. He told me that I had too many friends and spent too much time with them, so he told me that he wanted to convert me to introversion. In doing so, he drove me away from all of my friends. I didn't speak to my best friend for maybe 2 months because he was convinced that I had too many friends and didn't make enough time for him, even though he was, like, the only person I ever saw. I was at his house so much that his family was like, "Don't your parents want to see you?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I literally can't." We fought a lot during our relationship, which is normal. It's a high school relationship. You're not going to expect much else. But the issue was we couldn't talk through it because he never heard out my side of the story. If he had done something to wrong me, which happened a lot, I would bring it up with him to explain why it made me upset and, like, "Hey, like, we're fine. I just want you to know that you did this to me and it hurt me." He wouldn't listen to me at all and would just say that I was overreacting or, like, blame it on me and be like, "It's your fault. You should have spoken up." He said that a lot. He was like, "You should have told me in the moment." I did. And you didn't listen and you kept doing what you were doing to me. Because of all of this, he made a 2-minute apology video, pretty much blaming all of the things he did to me on having too much caffeine. Mind you, he had 11 Celsiuses in 1 week. He was fine. It was not the caffeine's fault. After all of this, I tried to break up with him 3 times. He said no the first 2 times, which is kind of crazy because if I'm saying I want to break up, you don't just be like, "No, no, no, we can no, we're breaking up, we're done." Months after we finally did break up, he confronted me about the rumors I was spreading, which was just me telling my story because he, like, assaulted me. So I was just sharing my story, and when I explained my side of the story to him, he said he didn't remember, and he asked if I had any evidence. Evidence of assault? No. It was all in person. Do you want me to whip out an audio recording? Like, what? But anyways, I hope this was entertaining because my ex-boyfriend was actually evil. Thank God I was only with him for 2 months, but it could have been a lot longer. Finally put my foot down and broke up with him on the 3rd try. But thank you for watching, and I'm so sorry if you had a similar experience, because it actually is the worst feeling.
These are all the insane rules that my strict Asian parents had for me growing up, and why I will never in a million years ever have these for my kids. By the way, I grew up in an extremely toxic household, so by no means is any of this normal or okay. The one thing that I will thank my parents for is teaching me exactly how not to raise my kids. Not only did they turn me into the sneakiest motherfucker ever, literally get away with murder anyway, but there was so many deep-rooted self-worth issues that took years of therapy to reverse. So number one, I had to go to school no matter what, no matter if I was throwing up sick or what. No matter if a family member just died, school was just non-negotiable. You don't know how many times I have gotten on the bus with bloody noses, like about to throw up. My bus driver is literally like, who sent their kid like this? Obviously, if I'm being sent to school with a fucking fever, then that's also a danger to other kids and just fucking wrong. I remember laughing at the concept of a mental health day because I didn't even get like a fucking physical health day. One thing about me is I was raised with complete fear. I was just so scared of getting like screamed at or like, you get what I mean? I was never allowed to have friends over the house ever under any circumstance. Like if I even asked, I would probably get screamed at for like 40 minutes. At a certain point, I just stopped asking. On the flip side of that, it was also really hard for me to get rides anywhere. My parents did not want to drive me to anyone's house ever. They were too busy doing their own thing pretty much. So I feel like I grew up pretty lonely. Now that caused me when I got older to sneak a lot of people into the house. Not even just boys or anything like that. Like even just my girlfriends, I would just sneak into the house and not tell them because I was so scared of getting screamed at. And I feel like that still affects how I like communicate now. I tend to over-explain the living shit out of myself. Like if I'm 5 minutes late to something, I will literally be telling my friend like, oh my god, I'm so sorry that I'm 5 minutes late. This happened and this went wrong and I'm just so sorry and like blah blah blah. And they're like, girl, it's literally not that big of a deal. One thing my parents made extremely clear to us that they were not my friends. After my very first breakup, like I was heartbroken. I was, I think, a sophomore in high school. I tried to go to my mom and like cry to her. And I literally got screamed at with tears rolling down my eyes about how stupid and dumb I am for crying over a boy and to leave her the fuck alone because she's busy. I remembered watching all the Disney Channel shows and movies about how when like Alex Russo went to her mom about a breakup or something, her mom was so nice and understanding and she was like, it's okay, mija. I really thought that it was gonna be like that and then just got extremely disappointed. I was like, how did I go for my mom for advice about a breakup and leave feeling worse about myself? Literally so pathetic, but like the trauma adds spice, so it's fine. But I've just never had that relationship with my mom where I could like tell her everything and like confide in her and be all cute and hang out with her. I've always been so damn jealous of people that are best friends with their moms, and I honestly tend to get close to like my boyfriend's mom and my friends' moms because I don't have that. So when I was younger, Instagram was like the big thing, right? There was no TikTok, there was no Musical.ly. It was literally just Instagram and Snapchat. My dad blocked Instagram on the router. Gosh, my nose contour looks like a fucking, I don't even know. As y'all know, I wasn't allowed to have people over. And most of the time, I couldn't get rides anywhere. So I spent a lot of time alone. So Instagram was like the one thing that I could use to communicate with my friends. So at 13 years old, I researched and found out how to install a VPN on my phone and got Instagram back. This is one I've seen a lot on TikTok about, and I didn't really know it was universal experience, but gifts would cancel out bad treatment. Essentially, my parents could say and do the worst possible things to us, completely traumatize us, but it was canceled out if they took us on a nice vacation or bought us something we wanted. Me and my dad are really close now, and he has like deeply and sincerely apologized for everything he put me through as a little kid. Basically just explained he wasn't ready to have kids and like give up his life and whatever. But my mother, on the other hand, if any three of us kids talks about our traumatizing childhood, the effect it had on us, she will still be like, shut up, you had an amazing childhood, you went on vacations and we bought you stuff. Did she not realize that she scarred all of us for like life and we all had to go in like months of therapy to like be somewhat normal functioning member of society? So like I said, social media was like blocked for the most part except for YouTube. And since I was alone so much, I really did get my childhood through watching Bratayley. So shout out Jules LeBlanc, I love you, you saved my life. It's just so funny how something that I wasn't supposed to be allowed to have is now my full-time job. Like, I fully believe that them taking away social media and like restricting me so much as a kid led to me pursuing social media as a full-time job. I never really even wanted to have kids, but part of me really wants to, just so I can raise them with like the most utter love and care and give them every single thing that I didn't get growing up. Like, I want to be the house that all the kids come over to. There's little slumber parties, and there's hangout sessions at my house, and I'm the cool mom. I want to have that mother-daughter relationship where my daughter can tell me literally everything, and she's like my best friend. And lastly, if you're in a toxic household right now, just please keep holding on. Promise it will be over, and you will get out of it. And I'm sorry, you have a damn good personality, because trauma really does build character. You're probably so funny. You're probably so sweet. I love you so much, and I am a real-life example in front of you guys that you can get out of it. Oh my gosh, that was like so deep. I love you, Hobnoggers, and I'll see you next video. Ew, was that too deep? Oh.
My boyfriend said that I don't have a bikini body, so I took my top off in front of all of his friends. So we were on the beach with his group of friends, and about 15 guys were there. That is why what he said was even more hurtful and embarrassing. When we got to the beach, I am that person that immediately has to go into the water, but I was the only one, so I went alone, and my boyfriend and all of his friends just stayed talking on the towels. So about like 15 minutes after, I get out of the water, and I'm walking towards where my boyfriend and his friends all are. I noticed that my boyfriend was like looking at me, staring at me whilst I was walking with a smirk on his face. I thought he was about to say something sweet, but no. As soon as I come closer to them, my boyfriend says very loudly and in front of everyone, "You should wear a one piece because you don't really have a bikini body." If he was trying to be funny, like, it didn't work because everybody just was awkward. None of them laughed, obviously, because, like, why would you laugh at that? Nobody said a word, and for, like, 10 seconds, I just stared at my boyfriend in disbelief, thinking about what I was gonna do. There's no way that he's gonna embarrass me in front of all of his friends, and I'm not gonna humiliate him back. So I pulled off the top part of my bikini, and I stood there in front of all of his friends, and I said, "Well, now it's a one piece." He immediately got up screaming and stood in front of me to try and cover me up. He started screaming, saying, "Are you crazy? Put something on immediately." I then also very loudly said, "I don't even know why you bother wearing shorts since it's so small, no one would even notice it." No one said a word too, and for the rest of the day, I just lay down tanning with my now one piece.
I have never told anyone this story because it is the most embarrassing moment of my life. You know those movies where you're like, oh, that's what I thought high school would be like, and it's like the worst experience you've ever seen a freshman have in their life? Yeah, okay. To set the scene, it's freshman year. Me and my best friend, we'll call her Rebecca, we're always with each other, and we decided, oh, we're gonna go hang out with this group of guys. Also, foreshadowing, me, like, I consider this group of guys my friends now. Like, it's not awkward or anything, but this was really awkward. We go to their house, and she's like talking to one, and we're all hanging out, and so I'm just hanging out with them. Her mom calls her and is like, "You need to get home," like she gets in trouble for something. So basically my friend gets in trouble, so she has to go home because we like went to their house. My mom's fine with like me going to whatever, like going wherever, but I didn't want to call her and tell her because I didn't tell her where I was going, and she was like out, and I just felt really stressed. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna tell it, like I'll figure this out. So I hang out with them for a bit, and they're like, okay, we're going to our friend's house. We'll call him Bob. So Bob, like, we all get in an Uber. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I've never met Bob. We get in an Uber. We go to Bob's house. Bob's older sister, Bobby, is throwing a party, and it's a senior party. When you're a freshman, that means that's terrifying. So as, like, someone who was a senior last year, none of this was as serious as it was when I was a freshman, and, like, I was fine. But basically, I get to Bob's house, and the friend group didn't tell Bob I was coming, and I wasn't aware that I would be the only girl there. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. And so Bob is like, yeah, she can't be here. And I'm like right in front of me. And they're like, no, she's still. I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna go. So me being so scared, and in the moment, like, that felt so terrifying. I was like, he doesn't want me here. So I walked away. This house was so big. It was literally a maze. So I'm opening, like, every door I can to try to leave. And they're, like, calling out my name. They're like, Riley. I'm like, and I'm, like, running away. And I run into this senior party that's happening in like the backyard in the pool house area. And I see the senior, I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. This is so embarrassing. Like, I cannot find my way out. And they're like, oh my gosh. And these two girls are being really nice. Bobby is being really nice, the girl whose house it is. And she's like, no, let's like, we'll find you a way out. So then she like gives me to her friend. Oh my gosh. The girls, there was like those two girls being nice, and then these other girls were like, no, we can't be hanging out with the freshmen. This is so embarrassing. First off, those girls were losers. If that had happened to me, I would have laughed. I'd been like, you are so cool. Let's get you out of here. Like, what were we doing to be mean like that? But so then I'm like, okay, no, like, sorry. Like, I'm just trying to leave. I don't want to like be here. And so this one girl's like, let's get you out of here. We walk by this bathroom, and it's huge, and there's a bunch of seniors sitting around and doing senior things. And she was like, oh my gosh, and she like introduces me, and I was so scared. I was shaking, and I'm like, oh, I'm really, they're like, you're a freshman? Guys, this is the high school movie part. They go, oh, hit this. And I'm like, nothing. So then I actually like was able to hang out with them for a little bit, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna go now, like, and they were like, no, do this first. And I was like, and I didn't. I was just like, that's funny, I'm gonna go. And they were like, chill, whatever, but that was mortifying. I felt like I was going to die, and like I was getting made fun of, and every high school movie prepares you for that moment for you to die, you know? So then I walk out, I get back into the house, and I hear them still looking for me. And I hear one of the guys say, her Snap Maps is still on, she's still here. So I run into this work closet, and the door is open, and there's a closet, and there's one of those like metal drawer rolly things, you know what I'm talking about? So I hide in between the shelves and the drawers, and I'm sitting there, and I can see out, but nobody can see me. It's like through the little holes in the metal. The mom walks by me, and I'm like, like I'm so scared, like I'm not supposed to be here. I'm hiding in a closet. And then I hear them just like, no, she's chill, she's so nice, let her stay. Like, no, like Bob, like seriously, let her stay. I'm so embarrassed, and I find my way out. Even the front yard was like a maze. I couldn't even find. Oh, also, as I'm hiding in the closet, I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, I need you to pick me up. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm an emergency. I need you to come get me. Here's the address. And I have to tell my mom that I hid in a closet and went to a senior party on accident. Yeah, if I were my mom, like if I had a kid in that, I would have started dying laughing. I mean, like, it's seriously not that deep. But I was so embarrassed of this story until like junior year. But also, like, I'm like friends with those guys now, like, you know, like mutuals. Like, we're in college now, we don't talk, we don't go to the same school. But like senior year and stuff, they would come to my stuff. I just dropped my water bottle. But just the fact that like completely consumed my world, and I wouldn't hang out with those guys. I wouldn't go to Bob's house. Bob would throw like parties, and my friend that I would hang out with, did I call her Rebecca, would be like, oh, we're going to a Halloween party at his house. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. And I did like nothing for Halloween because I was so embarrassed. He probably didn't even remember who I was. And we ended up like becoming friends like a couple months after. And I was like, do you remember this? Like, that was me. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, and it wasn't that deep. But that's the most embarrassing story that's ever happened to me. And it felt like one of those terrifying high school movies at the time. Yeah, comment your most embarrassing story. Have a great day.
Times that I should have broke up with my ex-boyfriend, but I didn't. Okay, starting off at the beginning, when we first started dating, I would literally cry sometimes and he would just fall asleep. Like, guys, I would be sobbing next to this man and he would just I fully believe that helped that man sleep. We were literally dating for an entire year and he never let me meet his parents. Like, no shade, that kind of hurt my feelings. But not only did he not let me meet them, they also complained about me because during summer break of school, he literally said he would only see me once a week. His reasoning behind this was that he lived too far. So he would either make me go and drive there, or he would just be like, no, this man only lives 30 minutes away from me. I feel like this next one isn't as bad, but like I wasn't his #1 priority, and sometimes he would remind me of that. This one really PMO the most because I usually had to text or call this man first all the time. And his excuse to this was that he usually doesn't talk or text people that often. Bitch, I'm your girlfriend. But don't get me wrong, obviously there was good things too. But anyways, that's the end of the video, and as always, love you guys, bye.
In middle school, I'd finally worked up the courage to ask my crush to take a picture after his basketball game and then posted it on Instagram saying, proud of him, with a heart, and then got blocked the next day. After months of meticulous planning, I finally got the boy I was basically in love with to come over, and he said, "You want to make out or what?" I was scared, so I said, "My lips are chapped and I'm tired," which he responded with, "Girl, go get that Aquaphor." At this big frat festival, I chose to flirt with the cutest boy there by giving him a wedgie, and then proceeded to get cussed out and then kicked out in front of everyone. In 7th grade, I had started my period unbeknownst to me, and then walked through the school hallway with a bloodstain the size of a grapefruit on my butt, and then had the cutest boy in school come up and tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, maybe you should go to the bathroom." My junior year of high school, I was going to a birthday dinner and got picked up by the senior boy that I used to talk to, and to try to win him back with my astounding musical knowledge, I played "Rake It Up" by Nicki Minaj, and it was silent for the rest of the car ride.